around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No, I don't want to be humble now.
Oh, that's
gotta fade out.
Yeah, I gotta fade out. About a year from now, we'll get this down.
Yeah, maybe.
As
long as we make constant
I like
progress.
The sound. I gotta get all the right stuff in the background. My lifting shoes, picture.
Where's your medal?
No, I ain't put my stuff up.
I mean, it's up in the front room. Right?
It's interesting. I got Tim Dimel gave me that, and I call him Dimel. It's Tim Dimmel. But Dimel is, I call him Dimel. You know why I call him Dimel? Because that's what Siri calls him. And when I go, hey, call Tim, calling Tim Dimel. And so now it's stuck in my head. But he gave me that shirt, so I got to give him a little, give him a little love. Masters athlete, badass Masters athlete, owns CrossFit Palo Alto.
Mm-hmm.
Runs good dude. Runs a great affiliate. Does it literally much different than we do here.
Yeah.
In terms of how he structures classes. His program is awesome, but he follows the core principles of CrossFit probably better than we do.
Which is kind of the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do whatever you want in your own affiliate.
Yeah, as long as you stay true to the methodology. Principles, don't chase shiny objects.
Yeah.
Which was one of the topics of conversation at that affiliate meeting. That affiliate meeting, speaking of which, we talked about it last week. We went into depth on the affiliate meeting, and it was good because we were the first ones to kind of publish any notes.
Like talk about it.
We were the only ones.
Yeah.
And Khalipa did a podcast with the CEO, Don Fall.
I think he did it right before.
He did it the day before on Friday, but it didn't get released till the following week. So we were first.
Yeah. It's the beauty of going live, right?
And we actually got the whole content of the meeting because they didn't know what, his podcast was only about what Don was saying, what is Don's mission and objectives were, which is straight from the horse's mouth, which was great. And it was the same thing we said, except we said it better.
We also had all the other context from, Nicole Carroll and then, in the Q&A, like, so it wasn't like in the post. No. We had it in the post. They were just kind of going off of main topics.
We went into, and I'm glad I chose my words. We chose our words carefully, right? I mean, we're not critical. There's nothing really to be critical about. We had
I think it was pretty positive.
No, it was positive. And there was constructive criticism, and then just some clarification on some things. Just because it's 2020 hindsight. We were there, we got to see it, and we got we took notes and wrote them down afterwards, so we could do those things.
Yeah.
And the thing that surprised me by it was an email I got from the CEO
based off of this podcast, last week's podcast.
Okay, so we have probably combined maybe 150 people that are listening to this thing so far, based upon we're now on Spotify, by the way. We're on Apple Podcasts. You can get us direct on rss.com. Mm-hmm. That's where we record to, and then it goes out to those other outlets and YouTube, PRsAllDay YouTube. Anyway, are we in the Facebook group?
We're just streaming through our YouTube channel now.
And then, but you can get recorded of it. But of those 100 listeners, one of them happened to be the freaking CEO.
I wonder who sent it.
So I got the email, and the heading was like, something about the podcast. I'm like, oh no! I had a sinking feeling in my stomach when I was going to open that email, what it was going to say, and it was a great email.
Yeah,
and he was very appreciative, and acknowledged the areas where we called him out, like on the number of people attend, the actual number of affiliate owners. Not that big a deal. I mean, it was. Those are things I do, but the clarification on that, and then the goal numbers and some other things. So it was a really good email and a really good email exchange that I had back. Don is obviously very interested in feedback from the community, coaches, members of the community, as well as especially affiliate owners. Mm-hmm. And I was really more impressed by that the email that he sent, and his attitude and his demeanor in that email, and the comments that he gave me with respect to our podcast. So it's good, and I was honored to know that
it's also
Don Fall listened to our freaking podcast.
Well, I mean, that's that. I was just gonna say, like, that's a good sign, right? He's not just
that's right.
He's opening up
Yeah.
to take in feedback,
right?
Which is, I mean, if you don't get feedback, how are you going to get better?
That's right, and that's really kind of what he said.
Yeah, I mean, to really button it down. Man,
Yeah,
that's it.
It's what we do in CrossFit.
Yeah,
which actually kind of ties into the subject that I wanted to lead off with, and I led off with it in my email.
PR bell.
Hey, somebody just PR'd in our gym. The new piece that's part of the whole Magic of CrossFit segment, and this one is
coaching.
The coaching, and it's the power of a great CrossFit coach, and it describes the process of coaching, education, how we do it, what we do. Really kind of, it's almost kind of a response to what perceptions of a CrossFit coach are. And I see it more of a beacon that we, or a goal that we all aspire to in terms of virtuosity. I loved the quote that was that she had in it, and I put it in my email. As a matter of fact,
so do you want
my competency is solely determined by my efficacy.
Yeah,
and she says it at the beginning of the video. And for those of you that don't know, and you should know, CrossFit has produced this series called The Magic of CrossFit, helping to define the fundamentals, the methodology, the ethos, and in this one, the coach, the role of the coach in all of this. And it's really well written. Again, Nicole Carroll wrote the content, and she told me at that affiliate gathering that she felt like this one was her best one. And it is really real well written. But I see it as, because I look at it and I go, am I this coach personally? And if I had to answer yes or no, like it was, if this was Andrew Hiller here judging me on it and watching me, he'd give me a no rep, because there's some things in here that I need to do better at.
Do you want to run the video?
Yeah, let's. Okay. Before I do though, I just the one thing I wanted to explain is that CrossFit. So when you look this up, type Magic of CrossFit and the coach, it'll bring you probably to the video, because it seems to draw the search seems to draw you more to the video. It
doesn't take you to the actual article.
No, but what I would highly encourage, you'll watch the video. The video is just basically a short version of the article. The article is long. It's probably 15, 20 paragraphs describing coaching standards and how it's our CrossFit coaching standards is the gold standard. We're changing the world. Competency is solely determined by my efficacy. It's paying it forward. There's a lot of content in here, and it's really good. So don't just watch the video, but the video will give you an idea of what we're about to talk about. And so I wanted to preface it with that. Go to the article, and the article is written by Nicole Carroll. The other thing is, I see it, and you'll understand why, probably after you watch the video and after we talk about it a little bit. I see this as an example of what we should be. There are coaches, many CrossFit coaches, who are here already. Yeah, especially those bastards that taught my level 2. That were so damn good.
I mean, even just on the L1 staff.
Yeah, well, L1 staff. I mean, all the flow masters. There's no way you're working for Nicole Carroll unless you're
red shirts or bosses.
Yeah, red shirts are bosses. And that's almost like the model that we should aspire to, essentially, as coaches. And our coaches are getting there, but we can do better. But let's watch the video.
Okay. And we did test this ahead of time just to make sure it was
so it should play. Oh yeah, look at that, it shows up.
The charter for our coaches can be summed up into a single sentence. My competency is solely determined by my efficacy. This means what determines how good you are is how good you are for your clients. It's all about your ability to deliver them results. We ask a lot of our coaches. And we believe the act of coaching is deliberate, focused attention. looking at one person at a time, caring deeply about their hopes and challenges, and helping them progress step by step so they can discover their true potential. The CrossFit coach is not a cheerleader and not a character who's there to entertain. Instead, our coaches display true character through knowing and serving someone else with the goal of helping them achieve their goals.
I love how they end with, is that David Osario? I think it is. Mop in the gym. And I think about, when I leave the gym at night, if I'm the last one here, the stuff that I'm doing is similar to that. And that's CrossFit affiliate ownership. But that's actually small business ownership. The owners, the last one out the door, they're putting stuff the way they want it to be. They're doing stuff the things do.
I think like back when I was running my affiliate, I would mop every day, right? Yeah. I mean, every day. And that's kind of a chance to kind of reflect on how the day goes.
Well, that's true.
How the workouts went, times on point, was so-and-so having an issue with a shoulder, just kind of gives you a chance to kind of reflect.
So the discussion around helping people get better, helping our members get better and achieving the goals that they've set for themselves. I think that's true of all of our coaches. When I go around, thinking this morning I had a class full of 20 people, I will make sure I take the time to go through every single person. I make eye contact with them. I talk to them, ask them how they're doing, how they're feeling, and then I give them feedback on their lifts as well. But I also, like during the Metcon, today was assault bike, hang snatches with a dumbbell, and wall walks. I gave them instruction as a group ahead of time. I didn't have enough time to get through and coach everybody on it. The people that needed scaling, I have 2 pregnant women in there, and so I gave them scaling for their movement. I was really stoked. I love it when a member goes, no, I'm going to do this instead because this is the movement that she said, this is the movement that Chad gave me and I really like it. I was like, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like, damn, good. Okay. 1, our members learning.
They're taken care of.
And 2, someone's doing a really good job. Yeah. One of our coaches is doing a good job.
Yeah.
But then during that Metcon, I'm a bit of a cheerleader. and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I just, and there's times when I can become too much of a cheerleader when I'm coaching.
What do you catch and consider to be a cheerleader? Like to put a definition to it, like coaching versus cheerleading.
Making sure it's an awesome playlist that's motivating.
Okay.
Right. And then 2, you're yelling at them and motivating them to, the best example for me is the last minute of the workout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I got the music up and the last minute I'm driving them to finish what they're working on. Right. I've got all these cues that kind of just help push them along or push them, because what I want them to do is experience that intensity.
Yeah.
I personally believe that the intensity is, it's the hardest part of CrossFit. I think it's one of the reasons why people quit CrossFit is because of the intensity. And 2, but on the other hand, I know that the intensity is what yields the biggest results. It also results in the biggest dopamine surge after, so they feel the best about being here.
So you're actually just kind of coaching them through to find a high intensity. And at the same time, when you think about like a large group of 20 people, you can't touch everybody individually, but you also touched everybody ahead of time during the lift.
Right.
And progression and setting them up. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a cheerleader.
Right.
I would say that you're just coaching on a mass level.
Okay.
A cheerleader, I would say like a cheerleader is like you're watching somebody move poorly and you're just, come on, let's go faster, go faster. That's cheerleading.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But if you're seeing somebody move poorly, you're gonna address them as you go. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I wouldn't call that a cheerleading.
That's
move.
a good point. Yeah, right. Lower squat.
Yeah. If you can't do it, here, let me grab you a smaller dumbbell. Let's adjust.
We do that. I think most of our coaches do that.
Yeah. We had cheerleaders in the past, and now we've got a freaking stellar group of coaches.
Right. her quote is, "I'm a fitness trainer. My practice is more than just a job. It's my passion. My clients are my top priority, and the successes are my life's work. I'm a professional. Being a professional, I believe that my competency is solely determined by my efficacy." I love that line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something to aspire to. And well, I think it's those are my words to live by.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my competence is so much for my efficacy as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
But the question I want to ask you and talk to you about, and this is something I've thought about, because we have 13,000 affiliates around the world. What percentage of the coaches that are out there do you think meet this standard?
Or how many are striving to meet this standard
of a great CrossFit coach?
Yeah.
What percentage would you say it is? Careful. Nicole might be listening to this.
Let's see here. What percentage out of 13,000 affiliates, how many coaches do you think are out there?
If you averaged three per.
Yeah, three
per
so let's just say there's 40,000 CrossFit coaches out there.
So let's round it off. Let's call it 50,000 CrossFit coaches, because we'll include the wannabe affiliates that aren't affiliating, that are doing CrossFit.
I mean, I would say, to be super conservative,
how many great CrossFit
coaches? I'm thinking like 65 to 70% is what I would just kind of stick with. Yeah,
you're far more generous than I am.
Well, I mean, I think so. Let me elaborate on that, because it's not so much like there's those that are striving to hit that standard, right? They're new, maybe they're just learning, they're building towards that direction,
right?
But they're not going to get there unless they get feedback and time to build that craft up.
That's a good point.
But there's also a lot of people out there that are already there,
right? So here are the limitations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that number's lower. If under this awesome definition of great CrossFit coach, if there's 50
that are actively coaching now,
actively coaching now, out of 50,000, I think there's 10,000. That's about 20%, 20 to 25% are great CrossFit coaches. In this, I'm gonna get. Nicole,
you're making me rethink my number now,
Nicole. This has nothing to do with you or the training department, because they're doing an amazing job, and they have amazing resources that can help take the coaches to the next level. But I think what's happened in the affiliate world, and it's exactly what you said, feedback.
Yeah.
Is that there's so many affiliates where the coach is the only person there, and the only feedback they might get would be from a member who would be willing to say something, and our members aren't going to come up. They'll fist bump me on the way out, and I actually look for that.
Yeah.
How many people tell me great class, or hey, thanks, or that was fun? Like, that's kind of
gives you a read on
it's anecdotal feedback as to how I did as a coach. Like, I want a lot of fist bumps. I literally want a lot of people going, hey, that was a great class. It was good. Thanks for your help. Thanks for your tip. I want a lot of people saying that kind of stuff. So that's some feedback. But the other feedback is coaching feedback. And it makes me think about us here at Diablo. How much coaching feedback am I giving our coaches? Because to be a great coach, just like the level 2, when I was in the level 2, I was challenged quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I had flaws in my coaching, and it was, just why people cry in the L2, because you think you're pretty good, and then you go in there and you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
No, like
a little humble pie.
Yeah, it was humble pie. But as you said about Don, the only way you get better is to get that feedback and to be able to take that feedback. It's the only way our members get better to get the feedback. And so I think that the reason why it's only 10,000, say, out of 50,000, is because there's no feedback loop.
That's a good point.
Primarily because those affiliates don't have the resources to be able to do that, which means another coach there to observe, or the owner there to observe.
It doesn't mean that they're not willing to receive the feedback. It's just the fact of what is the feedback they're getting.
Exactly right. Yeah. And so when I read this, I think, so I'm going to talk about it at our coach meeting that we do on Wednesdays. And that's where I give some feedback. I give kind of group feedback, but I want to do a better job of it. This makes me want to be a better man. this makes me want to be a better affiliate owner
Yeah.
to the coaches. I need to, when I'm taking their classes or when Yvonne's taking, because Yvonne gives me feedback.
Yeah.
My wife. So
same with Christy.
So by the way, yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, so
we got secret shoppers out there.
All right. So this is to our Diablo community. Or no, this is to our Diablo community. This is to our Diablo coaches.
Yeah.
If you've got my wife, Yvonne, in your class, and you got Jamie's wife, and by the way, learn who Jamie's wife is and don't ask her name multiple times, because that will go against you.
It doesn't help.
Right. And so and I can tell you right now, if they're in your class, there's going to be feedback given to Jamie and me, and Christy, Jamie's wife, will give that feedback to me and to Jamie. And then Yvonne will do the same thing. Yvonne will tell Jamie and she'll tell me. Yep. So there's feedback coming back from there. So that's good. Yeah. And then I'll usually take action on that type of feedback too. It doesn't have that up, but that's a good way to do it. Yeah. Like and we can talk about that. What are ways that we can get feedback to our coaches without you or me or Carrie Olson having to
intervene?
Yeah, intervene or be there all the time.
Yeah.
It's we take classes, we give some feedback, or our spouses take classes, or we find members that we know and trust and can give constructive criticism.
Yeah,
like I'm thinking about, for example, Miles in the morning. And Miles would be great to get feedback from, or Katie.
Yeah.
Or, there's Dean would give good feedback. Yeah. Evening people. And I think that's the thing as an affiliate owner is have some key members that you trust, give you feedback on how the class went. Was it on time? Did it flow well? What kind of instruction did the coach give? Did the coach seem vested?
Was there anybody in class that was new that didn't know what they were doing, and did they get taken care of?
Right.
Like, those are the hot topics.
That's right. So I think that's what we can take away from this as affiliate owners, is the power of a great coach, is so that, because what I don't want to have happen is like this go out there because it's so well written. It's so good. And then it's got video backup on it, on top of it, that cool video that got produced. And people go, yeah, that's not my experience.
Yeah.
How do we get it to I don't want my members to travel to another affiliate and have a shitty experience. I don't want people that are looking in the Bay Area, in and around me, to go to another CrossFit, have a crappy experience, and then never do CrossFit.
Yeah.
And then tell 10 of their friends, I tried CrossFit.
That first experience is everything.
I had to do 100 burpees in my first class. Just like... And I say that in jest, but those things have happened.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even more extreme stuff too.
Right. So as affiliate owners, we have an obligation, and I can do a better job of this, of getting feedback to our coaches so that we can aspire to be the force multiplier, as Nicole puts it, for CrossFit. And because we have the training, we have the knowledge. And I think what's important too is that they have continuing education. And that's something we work on here at Diablo. I talk about, we provide a fund to help pay for continuing education, but I also push and motivate our coaches to get continuing education when we meet with them. We do a review once a year, a formal review, informal reviews throughout the year, but formal review once a year. One of the things we talk about is what certifications, how you're going to advance your education.
Yeah.
You want to get better at anything. I don't know, boss told me this back when I worked at Bank of America. If you want to grow your business by 10% a year, you have to invest in yourself at least 10% a year. You have to make yourself 10% better. Whether that's, and that's just like, that's education. That's, new suits. It's like the whole 9 yards. Like, you're not going to get 10% more out of your business unless you invest in yourself, and 10% more in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with coaches. You need to invest back in yourself. You need to get better to get better. But affiliate owners can help them get better, giving them feedback.
And coaches just need to be open for the feedback. It's not like I could see some people taking it kind of personal. Oh, you didn't call so-and-so out on their depth, or you kind of skip past that one person. I know they were difficult, but you skip past that person and giving them any attention as far as like they were moving like crap, and you got to fix that. that kind of feedback to a coach is valuable information. And, I would just hope that any CrossFit coach out there would be hungry for that.
Yeah. I would hope so. There are, there's the rare, I'd like to think it's rare. People probably comment otherwise that maybe it's more often than I think not, that there's, the affiliates that people roll into and the coach just starts a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a warm up.
We always hear that story.
Yeah, we hear that story.
I've been hearing it less and less though.
I have, but those filter up because they're so unusual, especially for our Diablo members that, are used to, or other affiliates around here that I know are great affiliates. Like it's unusual occurrence. So when it happens, like that story filters up quickly.
Yeah.
You won't believe what happened when I went to such and such affiliate.
It's like one negative comment.
But man, those things can undermine us.
Yeah.
And I think those are the ones where you got to call the herd. Like there needs to be some sort of way for CrossFit to go, okay.
How would they go about that? Like send out secret shoppers?
Yeah. So a couple different ways, right? One is maybe secret shoppers.
Yeah.
Right. That
drop-ins. Like what was your experience when you dropped into the X gym?
That's right. There's a zillion affiliates. So that would be more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I think would be a little bit easier to do would be have a place where the public can comment to CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like
a open forum.
Like an open forum or a review.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you go to the website and click, how was your CrossFit experience? And you click on it. And it's just this button that says, how was your CrossFit experience? Click on it. And then it asks you like 3 questions.
Kind of like a Yelp.
Name, affiliate, your name, because anonymous sucks.
Yeah. You got to put yourself out there.
Your name, what affiliate you went
trolls.
to. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And because if someone's confident enough to put their name on there to defend it, then it's probably a legitimate issue.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it was that happened, but something happened.
Yeah.
And then how was your experience? Positive or negative? And then a chance to rate it. So basically rating. And so then if CrossFit, look, if they see one says, I went to Diablo, it sucked. They made me do 100 burpees or 400 meter walking lunges. And I've never done anything like that. I was sore for a week. CrossFit would see that, say, okay, let's see. But if CrossFit gets, they don't have to do anything with one.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll be chasing.
But if there's a repeating offenders.
But if there's like, you get 3 or 5 within a 30-day period of time.
Yeah.
Hey, time to reach out to Craig.
It's a red flag. Yeah.
Right. Hey, Craig, what's going on there? Hey, here's some things that we've seen or we've heard from the public.
I could imagine that being fairly easy to implement.
Oh, that's an easy one. Put it right on.
I mean, you have a way to filter where your affiliate map is. I mean, throw a rating system on top of the map.
Yeah, you don't have to turn and make those things public.
No.
But what you can use it as a tool.
Yeah.
To help give you insight to what's happening at your affiliates. And believe me, I would want to know if that was happening.
Yeah, I was going to say that goes to HQ, but maybe there's something that also gets sent to the affiliate owner. So then now the affiliate owner is aware of, hey, shit, something happened. What's going on? You know, like, can we elaborate here?
Yeah, Jamie Lee, what the fuck? Why'd you program 400 meter walking lunges?
I don't know. I just want to make people hurt. Didn't do that, by the way.
Yeah, I'll fill that out. I'll fill that out every time. Like every time I'll fill it out. Craig Howard, wall walks. Wall walks suck. I went to Diablo. They did wall walks.
Well, what was the instruction like? How did it go? Was there any points of performance covered and how to make it better?
But it would be like the 3. You want to make it easy to do it, but I think that's given that CrossFit is not managing franchises.
Yeah,
because that's a whole nother level of legal BS and cost within the organ. We don't,
and it takes away from the affiliates.
I don't think CrossFit's ever interested in franchises. And
Hope they're not.
You want the independent owners, right?
Yeah,
but you can have an easy way to police it through doing reviews, online reviews.
Like it's not even policing.
Well, it's
just providing the feedback.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Don't. It's not policing.
Yeah, I mean,
and they'll know absurd complaints.
Yeah,
I went there. They didn't give me my money back when I did a drop in and then didn't show up.
Yeah. Well, read the disclosure. Read your whatever contract that you're signing for drop in. Even
go pound sand. Go leave a negative Yelp review. All right. So that's anyway. So great stuff. Nicole Carroll is an amazing writer and has articulated very well. And she's given me something to aspire to for all of our coaches. I want her to come here and go, yeah, this is why I wrote this.
Yeah. Everybody should feel that way.
Give me about 6 months to go before you come here, though.
Happy to have you in my class.
Our coaches are damn good, though. I mean, I'm really
are.
blessed. We are really blessed with great coaches. And when we lose one, it's very difficult. It's painful for us because, one, we have an emotional tie with them, but two, it's, you know, we lose another good coach, and we got to find another good coach to kind of step up and fill their shoes.
Yeah.
And it is quite possible that I might be the weakest link in our coaching staff. I tell that to my classes that I coach. I go, hey, look, it's my job to make all of our other coaches look good.
Mission accomplished. How many of those people give you a mission accomplished? Good job, Craig.
Oh, wait a minute.
Jackson's class looks way better.
That's part of that video is I'm not there to entertain.
And that's a really important component.
I don't know if I cannot. I mean, one of the things I do, and I tell them, is I'm trying out all my like stand-up comedian stuff. Like I'm testing all my material with my classes.
But you're still leaning it towards coaching.
Yes,
right?
it is. I mean, absolutely.
There is a certain amount of entertainment that you're bringing and providing energy-wise.
And I will tell you this, like, because I like it when a coach is charismatic and entertaining.
Yeah.
And I do it as a space killer, like when there's dead air. You know, like when they're doing they're doing YTAs with a TheraBand, right? And even with the YTAs, you know, I tell them I give them certain position information that I want them to have so that they do them properly. But then there's like, you know, a few minutes there where there's like dead air. That's when that's when Craig starts his either rant for the day, depending on what mood I'm in, what I'm angry at for the day, or my comedic routine. Anyway, so that's what you can expect when you come to one of my classes.
That's good.
The second thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of like complaining of things, and this is almost kind of random. A couple things.
Is it random though?
Well, it's not. It's
I feel like this has been eaten at us a lot.
We're talking about pharmacy, the pharmaceutical companies and drugs, and the reason why I'm talking about this is twofold. One, I got a email from Amazon telling me that their new Amazon pharmacy is open, and all you have to do is schedule an appointment with one of their clinicians, whoever this person is.
One of those pill mills from Florida.
It literally is like, ironically, I got that email the same day that they, you know, announced the Netflix special about the pill mills in Florida. It's called American Pain or something. I think it's called American Pain. That was actually the name of their pill mill factory. And it was a large in that
movie Dope Sick. How the whole story went.
These guys were the largest distributors of opioid pills in the United States, and they're basically getting $5 a pill and selling for $30 a pill. Like, it was just this crazy. But anyway, so Amazon now has the pharmacy and clinician, and then I talked to one of our members, Chris McCurry, who works in the healthcare industry, and he said that, you know, that form of care is literally what's becoming prevalent in America. And it's really not even clinical care. It's basically, tell me what your symptom is. And he says, they're primarily focused on like 5 categories. And I forget what the 5 categories are, but I'm sure pain's one of them. But there's 5 categories where the most prevalent drug use is in America, or prescribed drug use is. And that's the area they're going to focus on. And so then I started to dig in. And then my wife and I happen to watch. She likes watching in the evening. She'll watch Family Feud because it's just funny to see his brain. That's like if we're doing stuff around the kitchen and stuff.
Not to focus.
And I happen to notice the number of this is on the game. So it's
many.
Yeah, drug ads on Game Show Network.
So many.
It's boom, boom, boom. And they're like for stuff I had no idea, like the ailment that they're talking about that they've got a drug.
It's almost made up.
Well, it is almost one of them is made up.
I mean, ED, right? Yeah, erectile dysfunction was a made up disease disorder, so they can market a failed blood pressure medication.
Yes,
Viagra. Like that's how that happened.
Yeah, it is. That they made up ED.
A marketing company came, not a doctor. A marketing company made up a disorder so they could sell a fucking drug.
I thought I took a picture of it last night. Oh yeah, there it is. This one is called. So Chris told me this because I said, man, dude, I can't believe the commercials. And he goes, you have no idea. It's someone that's if you talk to anybody that's in the pharmaceutical industry, you get a kind of a grasp of how big this industry is. But anyway, this one was for Ingrezza, Ingrezza, Ingrezza capsules once daily. And it is taken to offset the effects of TD. Right. So this was another, and TD is like, I forget what was it, some sort of like shaking or reaction that you get as a side effect of taking mental health drugs. So it's actually a drug ad to treat a symptom
from another drug
that results from another drug. And I didn't believe him when he said it. He goes, no, dude, they actually commercials for drugs that you take for treating symptoms created by other drugs.
You can't come up with a bigger facepalm. Like just
it's like, this is our country. This is where we're at. And then, so okay, of course, don't Google this because this is what these stupid rabbit holes that I go down. So this is the rabbit hole I went down. The pharma industry spends $7 billion a year in advertising. I thought, holy shit, that's a huge number. $7 billion just in advertising.
Mm-hmm.
But that pales in comparison to the actual size of the market, which is in 2020, $534 billion. So less than 10%. Well, 10% would be 70 million. So that's less. That's about 1% of the size of the market is spent on advertising, which is like fair, really, when you consider like the size of the market. Unbelievable.
Is it fair?
We'll get this. And then but the market is projected to grow to $861 billion in 2028. That's 5 years from now. 5 years from now, the market's expected to grow to $861 billion, almost $1 trillion in drug sales in the United States. And we're the only country us and New Zealand.
New Zealand
allowed to advertise it.
Yeah. And it's 75% of our advertisements are coming from pharmaceuticals.
That's
so when you're watching a show and you see a commercial sequence, you might catch one or at least one, maybe two different drug companies. And not even drug companies, but like CVS. Like CVS's new motto is like happy and healthy at our pharmacy or something like that. It's like, how is that healthy if you're going to a pharmacy? Like you should be using a drug as a way to get healthy and off the drug, not back onto another drug. So the drug to fight another drug.
No, the drugs have become lifestyle enablers.
Yes, that's all they are in the grand scheme of things. Right?
Treating symptoms so that we can maintain the lifestyles of low sleep, high stress, poor consumption of poor diet,
lack of nutrients, lack of exercise,
and then you couple that with a whole body acceptance movement, and you start to think, wow, man, this is a conspiracy to basically keep that industry flowing, get it to $1 trillion.
Well, they're on their way because they've got so many different engines working for them.
Well, here's the thing about it. So I watch these drug commercials, and I kind of just tune them out, right? We all do. We all tune them out.
I don't know. They get me mad now.
Well, I know. Well, yeah, you and me, because we're in the other side of the industry. Yeah. We're trying to get people off of drugs.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about it is that you start to become numb to the ads themselves, and then you start to accept them as, well, this is just who we are. Like it's okay. And so then it almost creates the barrage of ads in and of themselves, create an acceptance of the drug taking lifestyle. Yeah. And someone tells you, well, yeah, I've got to take a statin. I've got to take high blood pressure medication. I've got to take something for my anxiety. And people think, oh yeah, no big deal. So do I. I take one or two too. Mm-hmm. And what people fail to realize is, like, as humans, we shouldn't need drugs to live. Here's the interesting matching statistic and irony of this. Human lifespan in the United States has actually been flat for the last 10 years.
It's actually coming
and
down.
it's come down
Yeah.
the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like the average lifespan of the average American has come down in the last 3 years. Has declined. So drugs aren't helping right now. Drugs technically aren't helping us live longer.
No. Or happier, because you can't be happy if you're having explosive diarrhea.
Oh no, listen to the side effects. And one of the things that's being criticized with the ads now too is the ads. So that the drug companies have persuaded, and I think it's the Food and Drug Administration that manages what they can or cannot say, but they persuaded them to shorten the list of side effects, because when they were so read so fast and so plentiful that people really couldn't pay attention to them. Yeah. So they condense them.
And then they say at the end of it, this is not all of the side effects.
Yes,
like I've heard that a couple times. I'm like, they've already listed 15 things. What the fuck else is there to go through?
There's one. The one I saw was the eye drops. Have you seen these? The eye drops that help you see up close. And I saw that. I'm like, holy shit! How the hell can you put an eye drop in your eye and instantly cure like seeing vision? And then it says one of the side effects was if you experience a loss of vision, see your doctor. No shit. I experienced loss of vision. I'm gonna be screaming.
Yes, I'm taking a drug to help me see.
I'm gonna be calling more to the doctor.
Blind.
You can expect a call from me, pharmaceutical company. I can't see. Hey, you're gonna be.
They're making more customers.
One of the side effects is you might not be able to see. All right, I'll take that risk. Like, thank you. I'll wear my readers for a while.
Or how about? I mean, that just goes along the lines of the ones with the antidepressants that, like, if you have thoughts or feelings of suicide, it's like,
yes,
what?
Yeah.
That shouldn't even be a fucking side effect in your drug if that is your if you're trying to combat.
If you're having feelings of suicide, bad thoughts, or harming others,
go for a run.
I got news for you. The medicine is not working.
Yes.
Yeah, if it's an antidepressant, it's not working.
No.
Oh my God. But anyway, the problem is that there's not enough, to be honest with you, and people laugh about it, and they may be laughing at this podcast. There's not enough of us talking about this. That really saying this isn't absurd. Other countries. What was one of the articles I shared in my email this week was from NPR, and it had a little snippet. It was like a 20-minute podcast of them, and this starts out with the podcaster interviewing people from England who came to the United States, and while they were here, watched TV. And they wanted to get their feedback on what they thought about the commercials on TV.
Oh man!
And they talked about the drug commercials, and they were blown away because it's not legal in the United Kingdom to show drug advertisements.
It shouldn't be legal,
right? And what they couldn't understand was, you're telling me that the pharmaceutical companies are educating people on the drugs so that when they can go to the doctor, they can tell the doctor what that person need, what I need.
Yeah, ask your doctor if you're interested in.
Yeah, I need this doctor. I couldn't even imagine it being a doctor, someone coming in and going, well, I think I need Ingrezza because I've got this TD as a result of taking this other drug. Like, if I was a doctor, I'd be like, how do you deal with that? Anyway, so it's just to give you some perspective. No other countries, with the exception of New Zealand, United States,
same thing.
And I bet in New Zealand, they aren't showing near the quantity of ads that we do.
It's also the same with our food, right? There's stuff that we sell in our food that you can't buy in other countries.
Yeah.
So you think, I mean, when we talk conspiracy, I mean, food companies are making people sick and pharmaceuticals are keeping people sick.
All right. Oh no, don't go down that rabbit hole. I'm already there.
Sorry.
But then like I said, then on top of it, then all the advertising campaigns for body acceptance. Like,
it's
a
really slippery hole.
Slippery slope.
Don't mix
into a hole. Into a hole. Don't mix metaphors. That one sounded weird. Anyway, but look, I always, one of the things we always say, follow the money.
Yeah.
Where does the money go? Money ends up in, literally, it's enriching the pharmaceutical. So they're making money hand over fist. And so Is there a conspiracy? I don't think that there's a conspiracy that's, hey, let's make them fat and then let's sell them drugs. And there's not, but there is a conspiracy certainly to sell more drugs because they are publicly traded companies. They have shareholders that they have to appease. They've got to drive up the price of the stock. They've got to pay dividends. Those things are important to the company. Yeah. And all of the managers, all of the scientists, all of the marketers that work for those companies. Anybody that works in a Fortune 1000 company knows and understands this. Your bonus is based upon performance. And especially in those jobs, at the higher level jobs, bonuses can be very generous if your unit or your division or your group does really well. Yeah. And in the pharmaceutical companies, it's about making drugs and getting people to take those drugs and pay for those drugs on an ongoing basis. And drug subscriptions are even better. That's why statins are, multi-billion-dollar product, because you got to take them forever. Yeah. That's why insulin enriches the lines of pockets, especially for diabetes type 1, because you have to take it forever.
Unless you want to get off of it and change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that.
No, they won't. But recidivism with respect to exercise and nutrition is, the recidivism rates are really high. I mean, it's hard for people to stay off, to change their diet, change behaviors, change habits. But I would like to see more from our government, from local governments, from organizations to provide incentives for people to do those things, provide incentives for people to move themselves off drugs,
or even added regulations too,
or maybe even payment. Right. Or subsidizing those types of things
instead of subsidizing the process of the processed foods and corn syrups and all the other crap there. Anyway. I saw this thing in Mexico. They cannot market the way they market to our kids. Like, you got Frosted Flakes, you got Tony the Tiger on the box. And I guess in another country they can't do that. So there's no Tony the Tiger on it. And they also have labeling on this has this food coloring, this has this amount of processed stuff. It's like, we need that in our fucking stores, so that way when you're walking down the aisle, it's like, oh well, this is actually not good for me, versus like the Healthy Heart Association says that canola oil is going to be good for you. It's like, fuck yourself.
Well, you're right, and I think that's one of those things that they will not make changes to their products
unless somebody makes them do it.
Until somebody makes them do it, or until something bad happens.
Yeah. Well,
and they're under regulations for the manufacturing of the foods and
what bad could happen. Because I think the bad is already happening.
Well,
it's such a slow process.
Look, somebody's got to get sick and die, right? But no, I know what you're saying.
That out there, right?
Well, I understand, but you can't directly attribute it to Frosted Flakes and Tony the Tiger being in a box.
Yeah, it's true.
Those changes almost have, like, that's why government better regulation, I think, and I'm not a government regulation guy, but I think government regulation is important.
Yeah,
because those food companies won't make those changes. They won't do it because they've got to sell boxes of cereal.
Didn't Coca-Cola have to put a Surgeon General label on their products at some point? I vaguely remember hearing something like Glassman was pushing for it.
He probably was pushing
when they were in the battle.
Right. Anyway, that's where we as affiliate owners and as coaches can help encourage our customers, educate our customers. And it's something I do in my weekly email. Put stuff like that in there. I don't overwhelm them. People get tired of getting punched in the face all the time with eat healthy, but we do it enough. This is important to us. I want my members off the carbs, off the couch, off the drugs.
Happy and healthy.
Yeah, happy and healthy.
Without a pharmacy.
That's right. Let's go to we got the Open starting.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's 10 days away
already.
Seems like it was 15. Now it's 10. At Diablo, I continue to push our members to do it. We're almost at 100 signups.
We'll break that once.
We will. No, we got the entire competition team. We probably got 15, 20 athletes here that are like that want to make the next level of competition. Next level being the quarterfinals. We're 10% of their region, but none of them have signed up for the Open yet.
I believe it.
These are people that we, so
this is the first year I've signed up before doing the first workout.
I think of, we have 14 coaches here. I think 3 of them have signed up so far.
I'm one of them.
It's Californians.
Did you sign up?
Yes, I've signed up. I signed up. Yeah, but my wife didn't.
Yeah.
The co-owner of Diablo CrossFit is not signed up yet.
She'll do it after the first workout.
Oh, she will. It's just
I know she's gonna do it, obviously.
Some people, it's like superstitious. They just don't want to sign up too soon, But anyway, we'll get there. My goal is to get us to 200. That's my internal goal, is to get us to 200. Because we've got enough people to get there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're getting people signed up. I've got the list. I've got a spreadsheet set up, and now we're going to start assigning teams. And here's what we're doing is I've got the list of people, and I've shared it with a couple of key people in our group. At Diablo. Jamie's got it, and then my wife has it, and a couple of other coaches have it. And what I want them to do is go through and then just indicate if they're in a particular age group, because we're going to give
masters.
Yeah, we're going to give masters scoring.
Yeah,
the opportunity to score,
or age group, considering also like teens.
Yeah, and teens too. And then so we're getting everybody on there. And what we're going to do by the end of this week is I'll also assign a coach. We're going to have 3. We've decided on 3 teams at Diablo. That gives us about anywhere from 30 to up
maybe 75,
maybe 75 per team. And what we're going to do then is have each of the, I'm getting captain, a coach, and a member as like
member captain.
Yeah, captain of each team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get together and we'll do a draft.
Yeah.
And the draft will start with the RX Plus members, making sure that they're,
or anybody that the team wants to draft, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you got, because we're also judging is one of our ways to
scoring.
Accumulate points. And if there's a heavy judger out there, it's a free agent.
That's right.
Swoop them up.
Yeah, so we give points in our Intramural Open for judging. That's actually one of the more valuable ones. And then the other, so that's the stage. So next week, hopefully, by the Wednesday of next week, I expect to have all the teams picked.
Yep.
And then as people sign up for the Open, as the last people sign up for the
They'll
Open,
filter in with that snake
format.
Yeah.
They'll just be added to teams, I think is what we'll do.
Okay.
And the other thing is the judges course. So the judges course, CrossFit's judges course is really hard, I've heard.
Is it?
Yeah,
I haven't even touched it yet.
Yeah, a couple people have told me it's harder than last year. It's challenging to get through. It's frustrating to get through.
Sweet, can't wait.
So, and I don't know if CrossFit's going to frown upon this or not, but what we're going to do is with the masters, we're all going to get together and take it together.
Yeah,
we're going to get about 8 to 10 of us. And we're all going to take it.
It's like a big study group.
Yeah, big study group, so that we can get through some of those videos where you're counting double unders on a video. Oh, yeah. It drive you insane. Or
the chest to bar pull-ups from a weird
from a weird angle.
Like,
you can't
quite
quite see
contact.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. Or the ones that are the hardest are when you got to count the reps,
the alternating reps, like
where it's going rep. How many no reps were there?
Yeah, read the question closely, because you get into the habit of reading or counting the good reps, and they're like, no, we want to know how many bad reps were there. That, which is a good thing to kind of look for, because if you can't acknowledge where the bad rep is, then how are you going to count the good ones?
The one thing I'll tell affiliate owners, if there's any affiliate owners watching this, get as many of your members as possible to take that judges course. You have a big responsibility this year. Affiliate owners bitched and moaned to CrossFit that they didn't have the ability to validate scores, and that the affiliates weren't as involved or weren't integral to the Open. And so now they've put the onus back on the affiliate owners. That if an athlete does the workout at your affiliate, that doesn't need to be videotaped, but it needs to be approved. When they submit it, it needs to be watched by a certified judge. So they're going to go down and they're click, and they have to click the judge that watched it. And then the affiliate owner has to go back and make sure that score, they validate that score, and you need to do that by Wednesday or you lose those scores.
Yeah.
And that's a shitty email to have to send. Hey, by the way, I forgot to validate the scores. You don't want to do that.
Don't be that person.
No. So get as many people as you can in your gym to take that judge's certification. Do a group study thing. Get them. You want a bunch. You want a bunch of approved judges. and then make sure that you've got them scheduled to watch those.
Is this something worth
athletes.
maybe adding to our scoring system, like a bonus for every certification, like judging cert completed in the team?
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean,
I don't know. It's just an idea that popped up.
Entry level point or something like that.
Just like here before the competition even starts, here's a chance to kind of rack up some points early on. You can do it from home.
Everybody that registers is going to get it. Registers for the Open is going to get a follow-up email from me.
Yeah.
Take the judges course.
Yeah.
All those RX Plus people better take that judges course.
Yeah. And doing the judges course just kind of helps even from an athlete's perspective, just to understand what the standards are. Because a lot of times when you got somebody in class, it's maybe their first Open, they don't quite understand why they got to be judged and held accountable to their standards.
That's right.
This is a good way to kind of understand from
the dumbbell the dumbbell touched the ground on the dumbbell snatch. Now both heads of the dumbbell have to touch the ground on the dumbbell snatch.
But only one head of the dumbbell has to touch the ground on a clean.
That's right.
There's little details.
And those things are important because then when you get, there's that way it makes your Open
experience way better.
Makes it way better. It makes it flow faster.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to explain the standards during the brief. You don't have to brief everybody on the standards. They should already know it.
So do what we're doing if you want to do it, but I would encourage you to give points. If you're doing an Intramural Open, give points to the team for the number of workouts that they judge.
Yeah.
If their team members are judging workouts, they should get credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
And what'll happen is then at your Open events, you'll have plenty of judges.
Yeah.
Because those are easy points.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And then I think next week, what we'll talk about on Monday of next week, let's talk about setup and organizing the floor plan and executing the actual event the night of a Friday Night Lights or Saturday main event when you're doing a group event, like how they can organize, because you're very good at kind of laying out equipment, deciding on how long the heat should be, those types of things. Scaled versus not
heats
scaled.
versus like how long is the workout versus how long is the heat.
Right.
Making sure you got space for warm up for athletes that are on deck.
Yes.
I mean, ultimately for any affiliate out there listening to this, it's a matter of treating this as a competition. It is a competition. Sure, it's a competition in your gym. It's a remote. People can score and submit their scores on the internet, but at the same time, if you treat it like a competition, they're going to get the experience of a competition.
Yep. One last thing. In my podcast, my email that I sent out, I referenced, I always have a list of things that I'm reading or have read recently, so that if people need ideas for what to read. But the Huberman lab has a 6-part series now with Andy Galpin, and they just published part 3. And Andy Galpin's PhD out of Stanford. Andrew Huberman is a PhD in
neurobiology, right?
Neurobiology out of Stanford. And he brings in he's into fitness and longevity and nutrition, and he brings in people that are related to that to talk about whatever it is that they're specializing. But Andy Galpin is a specialist in mechanics, kinesiology, but also the metabolic system, down to the up to and including gut microbiome stuff. But in this episode 3, how to build physical endurance and lose fat, he talks about the process of building endurance, long, slow endurance versus
Zone
high
2
intensity
training.
zone 2 training. But it's really good. But the most fascinating part of this, where I learned the most, and I thought I knew a lot, is how to lose fat, how to lose weight. And it was fascinating because he actually stumped Andrew Huberman a couple of times on this, with his knowledge and the questions that he asked. And one of them, just to give you an idea, and I would say find this podcast and listen to that podcast. If you want to learn the mechanics of losing weight and you think you know it, calories in, calories out. It is not calories in, calories out. And he talks about the differences between fat, protein and carbohydrates and the differences they make, and specifically don't make. And it's really interesting. But he asked one of the question that he asked about 20 minutes in to Andrew Huberman was, how do you lose weight? And Andrew Huberman gave this big, long discussion on the metabolism, burning energy, and boom, how it's burned. Thermogenics and the whole energy. And it's just, and as he's stating it, I'm like, I'm getting lost. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's what he was asking you, dude. And sure enough, he said, no. He goes, no. How does the weight come off of your body? Like, how do you like go from a certain weight to a lower weight? Where does the weight go?
Yeah.
And Huberman was kind of stumped on that question. He goes, I've heard
it's through the breath,
through the breath. And Andy Galpin says, yes, that's it. It's through your breath. 100% of it. It's carbon exhalation. It's the exhalation of carbon. And I'm driving, I'm thinking, no fucking way. That's how because I always thought it was excrement. Like you
sweat it.
You crap it out.
Yeah.
You sweat it out, crap it out. I didn't even think breath, but you sweat it out, crap it out, or pee it out. Nope. I was wrong. It is the exhalation of carbon. Carbon is the exhaust.
That makes sense.
That
to the fuel.
Right. So you think about your car engine.
Yeah.
Not an EV. But a car that you're driving, a motorized car, a petroleum-based car, you fill it up with gas. It weighs more than empty. You burn it off. You burn off all that gas. Car weighs less. Where did that gas go?
Out the exhaust.
The same thing is true with a human.
Even a closer example of how our body works like a car.
Yeah, that's right. So we put the carbon in, we consume it, we eat that carbon.
Yeah.
Those carbon molecules, which we call calories. And then our body burns them either and there's different metabolic processes for burning that energy. But the exhaust or the burn off is through where does that weight go of that food? The weight of that food is through the carbon atoms that we exhale.
Interesting.
Fascinating as hell. I
didn't realize it was a
no idea.
6-part series too.
Oh yeah, neither did I. Because I heard the first one and then I saw the second one. I'm like, wait a minute, I already heard everything that guy could say. And he doesn't, none of his repeating. This was part 3, this carbon in, carbon out. Fascinating sound. And I think it's important for people to see it and understand and read it. And the reason why it's important is it can give you an idea of how long. So if someone says, I woke up today and I was 3 pounds lighter. No, you didn't breathe out 3 pounds of fucking carbon overnight.
So Bruce Wayne says, fart more when you're on a cut.
Yeah.
But good afternoon or good morning to us.
Yeah. Methane doesn't count. That's methane, not carbon.
Isn't there carbon in there?
No. But here's what's interesting, right? So you're exhaling carbon,
back to
right?
that question here in a sec.
So you're exhaling carbon. So that's what someone said in class this morning. He goes, Colin said this morning.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes, I can take all these people that want to stop the climate change, reduce carbon. It goes literally like if I killed someone, their carbon emissions are gone, and now I'm carbon neutral. It's terrible. It's terrible way to think. But if you lose weight, if you are restricting calories, you're basically taking in less carbon than you are exhaling.
Yeah. Go out and run.
Yeah.
Then you can increase your exhaling.
Any physical activity that increases your breathing rate is burning carbon. You're exhaling more carbon than you're consuming. Almost any physical activity.
Yeah.
You're exhaling more carbon than you're taking in.
That's good.
It is good. It's really good. And it really gets you out of this whole, away from the whole kind of fat, protein, carbohydrates. Mm-hmm. And he said, Huberman asked, and Galpin said, yes, people ask this question. First question they asked, well, can I just breathe hard and do hyperventilate and lose weight? He said, yeah, except that, shortly afterwards, you're going to reverse it because you're going to breathe in more to get that oxygen back.
Yeah.
And you start to produce adrenaline and you get lightheaded and you actually feel really crappy if you do that. Like if you stood here and hyperventilated for 2 minutes,
it's not good for you.
No, it's not good for you. You're not going to feel good. But that is the process that's happening. You're exhaling more carbon than you're taking in.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was the whole process. If you get a chance, watch that Huberman.
Yeah, I'm working on the end of the first one right now. So it's nice to know that there's a whole series.
The whole series. I would say jump to 3 after
skip the second one.
But each one, like the second one's 4 hours.
That's what I was like, oh, this keeps going.
Right. Okay. No, and it's just great discussion because it's all in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about.
So Bruce Wayne asked, he's going to his L1 in March. Any suggestions to prepare for it?
Yes. And what I would do is I would read the CrossFit Journal articles.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Right. Read those CrossFit Journal articles that they recommend that you read. And it was kind of a pain in the ass to do that, but it'll make that material much more meaningful. And the other thing is it'll make that test
a lot easier. Yeah. I mean, they cover everything in the seminar that's going to be in the test, but still the more you can absorb that information beforehand, the more prepared you'll be.
Yeah. That's it. Everybody that I've told read the journal articles that they recommend. And I think they have a manual now for the L1. I don't know if they give it to you ahead of time, but I printed them. I just printed out all those journal articles and just kind of leafed through them and looked through them.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah. I mean, I reviewed all of that stuff before I went and did my L3.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just really good information just to kind of touch up on and just a refresh in general. But I mean, ultimately going to your L1, enjoy. Like I think that's just like, it's one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had was going to my L1. I had a really unique experience too. It was at Yosemite.
Oh, that's right.
I had Dave Castro as one of my coaches, Miranda Oldroyd, Lisa Ray, Michael Ray, and Pat Sherwood.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good group.
Quite the lineup. This was 2009, so this was a while ago.
I don't want to one-up you.
Well, you were probably one of the. You went to the HQ, right?
Beginning of 2006, and it was at CrossFit HQ, the original CrossFit, and it was Greg Glassman.
Yeah.
Coached it.
Yeah.
And he was taking himself out, so he only did portions of it.
Okay.
And Nicole Carroll and Annie Sakamoto were the assistant coaches.
Such a good group.
It was a great group.
Yeah.
And that's why people say, well, how do you know these people? And you're so connected. No, it's just because let's
go to this stuff.
Because I go to this stuff, but I also started early.
Yeah.
I started in 2005 with this stuff. And so I have the benefit. Those were the only people that were coaching CrossFit. So those are the people that was going to coach me. But that is a result. I maintained relationships with them as a result. But that was an awesome, I'll never forget that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. The level 1 is just as good no matter who's coaching it.
Yeah. So. It's a hell of an experience. And you said, read up a little bit, but ultimately just go with an open mind and be prepared to have some fun.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Cool.
All right, guys.
See you next week.
Till then.